First contact's price. The holographic display in Dr. Sarah Chen's laboratory flickered with an unmistakably artificial pattern. After 15 years of searching for extraterrestrial signals, she had learned to distinguish between natural phenomena and intentional transmissions. This was definitely the latter, and it was coming from inside Earth's moon. "Director Harrison, you need to see this," she spoke into her comm unit, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "Remember how we lost contact with Lunar Base 7 last week? I don't think it was of equipment malfunction." Within hours, the International Space Coalition's highest-ranking officials crowded into her modest lab at the Mauna Kea Observatory. The transmission had evolved from simple patterns into complex mathematical sequences, then into recognizable images. Now, a three-dimensional representation of what appeared to be an alien delegation stood before them. "People of Earth," the central figure spoke in perfect English, its translucent form showing what appeared to be a tall, elegant being with iridescent skin. "I am First Speaker Vaughn of the Galactic Confederation. We have been observing your civilization from our lunar facility for the past 73 of your years. Your species has finally reached a threshold we can no longer ignore." Director Harrison stepped forward, his weathered face illuminated by the hologram's soft glow. "And what threshold would that be?" "Your quantum computing experiments," Vaughn replied. "They threaten to destabilize local spacetime. We can no longer maintain our policy of non-intervention." The room fell silent. Dr. Chen's recent breakthrough in quantum entanglement had made headlines, but no one had predicted it might attract alien attention. She found herself unconsciously reaching for her tablet, where the equations that had led to her discovery were stored. "We are prepared to welcome humanity into the Confederation," Vaughn continued, "but there is a matter of the entrance fee." "Entrance fee?" Harrison's voice carried a note of suspicion. "All new species must contribute to the Confederation's technological pool before gaining membership. It ensures stability and prevents unfortunate incidents." The alien's form shifted, displaying images of worlds reduced to asteroid fields. "Your species will surrender all quantum computing research and agree to supervision of your technological development for the next century." Dr. Chen felt her blood run cold. Her life's work, just handed over. She noticed similar expressions of disbelief and anger on her colleagues' faces. "And if we refuse?" Harrison asked, though his tone suggested he already knew the answer. "Then we cannot guarantee your protection from other spacefaring civilizations who might view your uncontrolled development as a threat." Vaughn's form flickered. "You have 30 days to prepare your research for transfer. We will send coordinates for a formal meeting." The hologram vanished, leaving the room in stunned silence. "They've been watching us." Dr. Chen finally spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. "All this time, hiding behind our moon, watching us stumble through the dark ages of space exploration." Harrison turned to face the assembled scientists and military personnel. "Ladies and gentlemen, I need options. Dr. Chen, what exactly in your research could destabilize local spacetime?" She pulled up her equations, projecting them onto the lab's main screen. "My team discovered a way to maintain quantum coherence at room temperature. We thought it was just more efficient computing. But," she highlighted a particular sequence, "if these calculations are correct, and if scaled up significantly, theoretically it could create microscopic tears in spacetime. Could it be waveized?" a general from the back of the room asked. "That's not the point," Harrison interrupted. "The point is they're afraid of it. They're afraid of what we might do with it." He turned back to the spot where the hologram had stood. "They're afraid of us." Dr. Chen watched as understanding dawned on her colleagues' faces. The Confederation wasn't offering membership. They were demanding submission. The entrance fee wasn't about contribution. It was about control. "Director," she said, an idea forming. "They gave us 30 days. They're watching our official channels, our major facilities. But my old lab at MIT, the one where I first started this research, it's been officially decommissioned for years." Harrison's eyes met hers, a slight smile forming. Dr. Chen, I believe it's time you took a vacation. Visit your alma mater, perhaps, for old time's sake. She nodded, already mentally cataloging what she would need. The Confederation thought they were dealing with a young, naive species that would hand over its discoveries out of fear. They were about to learn that humanity had a long history of working best under pressure. As the officials filed out of her lab, already coordinating their response, Dr. Chen looked up at the moon hanging in the Hawaiian sky. Somewhere up there, alien observers were probably congratulating themselves on a successful first contact. You really should have checked our history books, she muttered. Humans don't respond well to ultimatums. The hidden project. The basement of MIT's old quantum research building hadn't seen this much activity in years. What once housed dusty equipment and forgotten research papers now hummed with purpose, its outdated appearance masking cutting-edge technology, hidden beneath false walls and holographic disguises. Dr. Sarah Chen stood before a seemingly empty chamber, her reflection distorted in its polished walls. "Status report," she called out, her voice echoing in the vast underground space. "Quantum coherence holding at 97%. Dr. James Rodriguez answered from his workstation. The young physicist had been one of her most brilliant students, and now he managed the most crucial aspect of their secret project. The containment field is stable, and the space-time readings are exactly where we want them. 20 days had passed since the Confederation's ultimatum. While the world's governments publicly prepared to surrender their quantum research, a different story unfolded in hidden facilities across the globe. The MIT lab was just one of 7 sites, each exploring a different aspect of what they'd come to call Project Echo. "Message from Beijing," announced Dr. Aisha Patel, their communications specialist. Her fingers danced across a quantum-encrypted console. "Dr. Liu's team has successfully replicated the gravitational anomaly. London and Moscow confirmed similar results." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The Confederation had assumed humanity would work in isolation, each nation fearful of sharing its secrets. Instead, their ultimatum had achieved something unprecedented, a truly unified human scientific community. "Dr. Chen," James called out, his voice tense. "You need to see this." He pointed to his display, where a complex pattern of quantum fluctuations painted an unexpected picture. The space-time distortions, they're not tears, they're tunnels. Sarah rushed to his station, her heart racing as she analyzed the data. The Confederation had feared they were on the verge of destroying local space-time. Instead, they had stumbled upon something far more significant. "It's not just faster than light travel," she breathed, understanding dawning. "It's instant spatial translation. We're not breaking space, we're folding it." A soft chime interrupted their revelation. "Perimeter alert," Aisha announced. "Confederation scan incoming." 30 seconds. Well-rehearsed protocols sprang into action. Holographic disguises activated, making the lab appear abandoned. Quantum signatures were masked behind false readings that suggested failed experiments and dead ends. The team continued working, their movements hidden behind layers of technological deception. The scan passed over them, its alien energy signature familiar after weeks of study. Sarah held her breath until Aisha gave the all-clear signal. "They're still watching the official channels," James noted, bringing up a feed showing the public face of their research. The world's governments were putting on a convincing show of compliance, preparing documents and demonstrations that would satisfy the Confederation's demands. "Let them watch," Sarah replied, turning back to the quantum chamber. "They're so convinced of their technological superiority that they've missed something fundamental about human nature." "What's that?" asked Aisha, looking up from her station. "We're at our most innovative when backed into a corner." Sarah activated the main display, showing a real-time map of their global network. Points of light indicated each hidden facility, connected by lines of quantum entanglement that the Confederation's sensors couldn't detect. The chamber hummed to life, its interior filling with a soft blue glow. Inside, space-time itself folded like origami, creating pathways that defied conventional physics. They had 10 days left before the Confederation's deadline, but Sarah already knew they wouldn't need them all. "Send word to the other sites," she instructed. "Begin Phase 2. It's time to test our theory at full scale." As her team rushed to comply, Sarah thought about the aliens watching from their lunar base. They had given humanity a choice between submission and extinction, never considering a third option. They had studied human history, but failed to understand its most important lesson. Humanity's greatest achievements often came from refusing to accept impossible choices. Director Harrison, she spoke into her quantum-encrypted communicator. "Project Echo is ready for final integration. When the Confederation comes to collect their entrance fee, we'll have a counter-offer they won't expect." In the chamber before her, space-time continued to fold and unfold, each pattern bringing them closer to a revolution in physics that would reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. The Confederation had meant to contain humanity's development. Instead, they had accidentally created exactly the kind of pressure that forged human innovation into something extraordinary. 10 days, Sarah murmured, watching the quantum patterns dance. In 10 days, they'll learn why you should never back humans into a corner. Above them, the moon hung in the afternoon sky, its surface concealing the watchers who thought they held all the cards. Soon, very soon, they would discover just how wrong they were. The ultimatum. First Speaker Vaughn's holographic form towered over the United Earth Council chamber in Geneva, his iridescent skin now pulsing with angry red patterns. The emergency session had been called just 3 days before the deadline, but not by Earth's representatives. "Explain these energy signatures," he demanded, projecting a complex grid of data above the assembled delegates. "Our sensors detect quantum fluctuations across your planet that should be impossible given your documented level of technology." Director Harrison stood calmly at the podium, his silver hair gleaming under the chamber lights. Behind him, Dr. Chen and representatives from each major nation sat in careful formation, their faces masks of practiced confusion. "Perhaps your sensors are detecting the shutdown procedures we're implementing," Harrison offered. "Decommissioning quantum research facilities produces unusual energy patterns. Do not insult our intelligence." Vaughn's form flickered with barely contained rage. "We have detected coordinated quantum events on every continent. Your species is not shutting down research. You are accelerating it." Sarah watched the aliens' reaction carefully. Their hidden network had worked perfectly, drawing the Confederation's attention exactly when they wanted it. Now came the dangerous part. "The Confederation's patience is at an end," Vaughn continued. "We gave you an opportunity to join galactic civilization in an orderly manner. Instead, you chose deception." New holograms appeared, showing massive ships emerging from behind the moon. "You have 6 hours to surrender all research facilities and personnel. Resistance will be met with immediate planetary quarantine." Harrison glanced at Sarah, giving an almost imperceptible nod. "Right on schedule." "With respect, First Speaker," Sarah stood, drawing the aliens' attention. "We have a counter-proposal. You are in no position to negotiate. Dr. Chen, our ships are impressive," she interrupted, activating her own holographic display, "but outdated." The chamber erupted in shocked whispers as a new set of data appeared, showing detailed scans of the Confederation fleet. Every specification, every weakness, every limitation was laid bare. "Impossible," Vaughn whispered. "These are classified military secrets." "Were classified," Sarah corrected, "until we started looking through them 3 weeks ago. Your quantum encryption is quite good, but it has a fundamental flaw. You never considered that space-time itself could be used as a computational medium." She gestured, and the display changed again, showing the true extent of Project Echo. Quantum networks crisscrossed the globe, linking hidden facilities that pulsed with power the Confederation had never imagined possible. While you watched our official channels, humanity did what it does best. We innovated. We collaborated. We transcended your expectations. Vaughn's form stabilized, his color shifting to a deep blue that Sarah had learned indicated fear. "What are you?" "We are human," Harrison answered, stepping forward. "And you made a crucial mistake in your first contact protocols. You tried to contain us through threats and ultimatums, never understanding that humanity's greatest advances have always come from overcoming such challenges." Sarah activated the final phase of their demonstration. Across the globe, Project Echo's facilities synchronized. The quantum network hummed to life, and suddenly the space around Earth rippled like a disturbed pond. "Your ships can bombard us from orbit," she explained, "but they can't reach us. We've created a quantum barrier around Earth, a selective fold in space-time that we control. Your weapons literally cannot cross the distance between us, because we can redistribute that distance at will." The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. The Confederation's mighty fleet, rendered impotent not by superior firepower, but by humanity's fundamental reimagining of physics itself. "You have two choices." First speaker, Harrison declared. "You can retreat and report to your superiors that humanity will not be joining the Confederation under your terms." Or, he smiled, "you can stay and learn why Earth's greatest achievements have always come from cooperation rather than coercion." Vaughn's hologram flickered rapidly, patterns of color washing over his form as he processed this complete reversal of power. "The Confederation Council will not accept this defiance." "They already have," Sarah countered, bringing up one final display. A quantum tap into the Confederation's highest council chambers, where news of Earth's breakthrough was causing its own political earthquake. "Your council is realizing what you should have known from studying our history. Humanity doesn't respond well to threats, but we make excellent partners when treated with respect." The first speaker's form stabilized, his color shifting to a neutral green. "You planned this. All of it. The hidden research, the apparent compliance, drawing our fleet here. We needed you to understand exactly what humanity is capable of," Harrison confirmed. "Now shall we discuss real membership terms, as equals?" Above them, the Confederation fleet hung motionless in space, their weapons powered down as their commanders received new orders from a hastily convened council session. Earth's quantum barrier shimmered like a soap bubble in sunlight, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. Sarah sat back down, allowing Harrison to begin the real negotiations. In just 30 days, humanity had not only matched but exceeded the Confederation's quantum technology. But more importantly, they had demonstrated why attempting to control Earth through fear was a fundamental miscalculation. The real question now wasn't whether humanity would join the galactic community. It was how quickly the galaxy would adapt to humanity's presence in it. New players on the galactic stage. The observation deck of humanity's first public quantum space station offered a view that would have been impossible just months ago. Where once Earth could only gaze at distant stars, now representatives from a dozen alien species gathered to witness something unprecedented in galactic history. Sarah stood at the window, watching shuttles from various Confederation worlds dock with the station. Each arrival carried scientists, diplomats, and technical experts, all drawn by humanity's quantum breakthrough. Behind her, James was explaining Earth's new quantum barrier technology to a group of wide-eyed alien researchers. "The fundamental principle isn't just about defense," he explained, manipulating a holographic model. "By folding space rather than traveling through it, we eliminated the need for traditional propulsion systems entirely." Araxian scientists, their crystalline form refracting light across the deck, raised an appendage. "But the energy requirements are minimal," Sarah interrupted, turning from the window. "Because we're not fighting against space-time. We're working with it. That's what your civilizations missed in your race for technological supremacy. You were so focused on conquering the laws of physics that you never considered partnering with them." Director Harrison entered the observation deck, accompanied by several high-ranking Confederation officials. The first speaker was notably absent, quietly reassigned after the diplomatic disaster of his attempted ultimatum. "Dr. Chen," Harrison called out, "the Confederation Council has approved our proposal. Would you like to make the announcement?" Sarah nodded, activating the station's communication system. Her voice would carry to every ship and facility within Earth's growing sphere of influence. "Today marks the beginning of the Quantum Exchange Initiative," she began. "Earth will share its space-time folding technology with all Confederation members who agree to our terms of open scientific cooperation. In return, we ask for unrestricted access to the Confederation's historical and technological databases." She paused, watching the reactions among the assembled aliens. Some showed clear signs of excitement, others uncertainty, and a few, particularly from the older, more established species, barely concealed concern. "But this is more than a simple exchange of technology," she continued. "This is an opportunity to reshape how our civilizations interact. The quantum barrier that protects Earth isn't just a defense system. It's proof that there are still fundamental discoveries waiting to be made, if we're willing to question our assumptions." Harrison stepped forward. "The Confederation was founded on the principle of controlled technological development. Earth proposes a new model: collaborative innovation. We've already seen what humanity can achieve under pressure in just 30 days. Imagine what all our species could accomplish together in 30 years. The observation deck erupted in discussion. Sarah watched as traditional rivals among the alien species began forming into small groups, already discussing potential joint research projects. The quantum barrier had done more than protect Earth. It had shattered centuries of established galactic politics. "There's something you should see," James called from his console. He brought up a long-range scan of the space beyond the solar system. "We're detecting quantum fluctuations similar to our early experiments. Other species are already trying to replicate our work." Sarah smiled. "Good. Competition breeds innovation, as long as it's healthy competition." Speaking of competition, Harrison joined them at the console, his voice low. "The Confederation's older members are pushing for restrictions on how quickly we can deploy quantum fold technology. They're worried about maintaining their influence." "Let them worry," Sarah replied. "They can either join us in pushing the boundaries of what's possible, or they can watch as younger species leap ahead of them. Either way, the galaxy's entering a new age of exploration and discovery." She turned back to the window, watching as more ships arrived through conventional space. Earth's quantum fold network was expanding daily, creating stable corridors through space-time that any species could use, if they agreed to humanity's terms of open cooperation. "You know," James mused, "when the Confederation tried to force us to surrender our technology, they accidentally created exactly the conditions we needed to surpass them." "That's the thing about humanity," Harrison said with a slight smile. "We've never been good at accepting limitations imposed by others, but we've always been excellent at turning threats into opportunities." Sarah watched as a group of younger alien scientists eagerly examined the quantum fold generators that powered the station. Their enthusiasm reminded her of her own early days in research, before politics and fear had threatened to stifle human innovation. "The Confederation wanted to control humanity's development," she said. "Instead, they're about to witness humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy. The reminder that the universe still holds mysteries waiting to be solved, if we're brave enough to question everything we think we know." Outside the station, Earth glowed blue and green, its quantum barrier a subtle shimmer in space. But more impressive than the barrier were the countless ships now arriving from across the galaxy, drawn not by fear or coercion, but by the promise of discovery. The age of controlled technological development was over. The age of collaborative innovation had begun. And humanity, the species that had refused to be contained, would lead the way. Evolution of understanding. 1 year after Earth's quantum revelation, the Galactic Confederation's central hub had changed beyond recognition. Where once stood rigid hierarchical chambers now sprawled an open forum of interconnected research centers and diplomatic spaces, designed using human architectural principles of collaboration and accessibility. high in the hub's new quantum observation tower. First Speaker Vaughn's successor, Marina Chenputul, stood beside Sarah Chen, now Earth's chief scientific advisor to the Confederation. They watched as ships from dozens of worlds moved through the quantum fold network that had replaced traditional space lanes. "Your daughter asked me an interesting question yesterday," Marina said, her iridescent skin shifting to thoughtful patterns of green and gold. She wanted to know why the Confederation feared Earth so much in the beginning. Sarah smiled, remembering her 5-year-old's endless curiosity about their alien allies. "What did you tell her?" "The truth. That we feared what we didn't understand. Not just your technology, but your very nature as a species." Marina gestured to the scene below them, where humans and aliens worked side by side in the hub's central plaza. "We had categorized every known species, placed them in neat boxes of development and potential. But humans, you defied categorization. A holographic alert materialized between them." Another breakthrough from one of the many joint research initiatives. The Raxians and a team from MIT had successfully merged quantum fold technology with crystalline computing, creating an entirely new form of faster-than-light communication. "That's the 7th major breakthrough this month," Sarah noted. "The pace of innovation when species collaborate freely is terrifying." Marina suggested with what passed for a smile in her species. "I was going to say inspiring." Sarah brought up a galaxy-wide display, showing the spread of quantum fold technology. "Look at these adoption patterns." The younger species embraced it immediately, while the older ones waited and watched. But now even the most conservative members of the Confederation are requesting access to the exchange initiative, Marina finished, though some still grumble about the required transparency and cooperation protocols. Below them, a group of students from Earth's first extraterrestrial university campus crossed the plaza, deep in discussion with their alien classmates. The sight would have been unimaginable just a year ago. "You know what the real breakthrough was?" Sarah asked, turning to face her colleague. "Not the quantum fold technology. Not even the barrier defense system. It was the realization that true progress doesn't come from hoarding knowledge or controlling development. It comes from sharing ideas, from letting different perspectives combine in unexpected ways." Marina's color shifted to a deep blue of agreement. The old Confederation tried to prevent conflict by controlling access to advanced technology. "We never considered that the very act of control was creating the conflicts we feared." A soft chime interrupted them. Another ship arriving through the quantum fold network. This one was special. Earth's first long-range exploration vessel, returning from its maiden voyage beyond known space. The ship, named Curiosity, had been crewed by a mixed team of humans and aliens, all trained in the new protocols of collaborative discovery. "Initial reports are coming in," Marina announced, reading the quantum-encrypted transmission. "They found something extraordinary. A region of space where our fundamental understanding of physics breaks down completely. The captain is requesting the joint scientific expedition." Sarah felt a familiar thrill of excitement. "Already approved. I had teams standing by, just in case. We'll have researchers from 12 species ready to go within a week." Marina's skin rippled with amused patterns. "You knew they'd find something, didn't you?" "I knew that if we looked at space through multiple perspectives simultaneously, we'd see things we all missed individually." Sarah brought up the preliminary data from Curiosity's discovery. "This is why the old Confederation's approach was fundamentally flawed. You can't control discovery. You can't contain curiosity. The universe is too vast, too strange, too wonderful for any one species to understand alone." They watched as preparation teams began assembling for the new expedition. Humans worked alongside aliens they would have feared a year ago, each contributing unique insights and abilities to the mission. "My daughter asked me another question this morning," Sarah said softly. "She wanted to know if we were still afraid of each other." "And what did you tell her?" "That we're too busy being amazed by each other to be afraid anymore." The quantum fold network shimmered across space, connecting worlds that had once been isolated by fear and suspicion. Ships moved freely between stars, carrying not weapons or threats, but ideas and questions and the shared excitement of discovery. Humanity had earned its place in the galaxy not through force or submission, but by demonstrating a fundamental truth, that the greatest achievements come not from controlling knowledge, but from sharing it. The universe had questions waiting to be answered, mysteries waiting to be solved, and wonders waiting to be discovered. And now, finally, all species were free to seek those answers together. Above them, countless stars beckoned, each holding new possibilities for a civilization that had learned to value collaboration over control, curiosity over fear, and innovation over tradition. The age of isolation was over. The age of shared discovery had begun.